Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today is a happy day. We have Biden and Harris, President-elect and Vice President-elect. And today we have Mitch McConnell congratulating them on the Senate floor. We have Putin sending his congratulations. It is certified, it is legitimate, that's that, right? Well, I kind of wanted to look in on Trump and see how he's reacting to Mitch McConnell's speech. McConnell told him ahead of time it was coming, I think. All right. Let's see. 4 of coins. It really bothers him that the women, they really do bother him. Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, their victory really bugs him a lot. He's retreating for now. He just wants to kind of stay out of the spotlight a little bit, or at least be very controlled in what he allows. He's not going to allow these questions. Okay, but I just feel like he's pretty upset. Yeah, okay, but he's more worried. He is wanting to make sure investigations that have been held up while he's been president remain held up. He wants to make sure the secrets stay in the closet or in the wherever they are. He wants to make sure they're hidden. The King of Swords investigations. So he's worried. This worries him. This worries him. He wants to still have some loyalty. So he's calling people. You know, can I count on you to keep my secrets? Can I count on you to protect the information that a lot of people have information? I've seen other meetings where others have been listening in on it. There's plenty of that leaked, but there's a lot more that didn't leak, right? So I think there's a lot of information kept in top secret, perhaps, that he doesn't want looked at. He wants buried. He doesn't want it seen. And he's still feeling like he can keep some power over the senators that are in office because they don't want to alienate his base. Delay. So right now he's sort of like, okay, I can't do anything about this right now. However, hermit, he feels kind of isolated, but he wants to win at any cost. It doesn't matter. He's still hoping to be victorious over Mitch McConnell, even like be victorious over all of them. That kind of thing. Okay. He's embattled. He's a little battle weary. He still has some support from some Republicans. So he's calling all those people. 2 of Swords. He doesn't know. Should I just accept this and be done with this? Or is there anything else I can do? Is there another plan? And that brings me to Jeffrey Rosen. So he's the deputy AG. So Barr is gone. And Trump says he resigned. I don't know. Possibly. But I think it was pretty mutual. Apparently, there were screaming matches and things, as he was pressuring Barr to do whatever he could to overturn the election. So will he buckle under that pressure? Okay, what's going on with Rosen? Well, we have King of Coins. We have New Beginning. The Fool. We have the 3 of Swords. In other words, Trump will definitely try. He's the new beginning. Rosen's a new beginning. Knight of Cups. So that means Rosen will try to humor him. Very similar. Barr did make a lot of questionable, we're not even sure legal kinds of interventions on Trump's behalf. So this guy may do some of those things too. He's thinking he's going to manipulate his way through this until Trump leaves. 8 of Cups. Riding it out. He's going to ride it out. So he's thinking he can ride it out. He's thinking he can do this. He will do some things to humor Trump that will be concerning. But I just don't feel he has strength. No, I don't. He's not going to try to overturn the election. He's not going to make all of the tools of the Justice Department available to Trump. However, he may work with Trump to try to make sure certain things don't get investigated. Investigations keep being held up. Oh, Queen of Swords. Does he talk to the press? He will. At some point, he's going to talk to the press, and it's going to be because he feels less safe. It's going to be because he, obviously by his cards, he's most interested in his own career, the stability of that, riding this period out, you know, perhaps even making this a new beginning, like, well, this is good on the resume, right? I was acting AG. So, and he too does not have he doesn't have experience as a prosecutor. So is he qualified? There's the question too. But he really may speak out at some point where if he feels like he needs to protect himself against Trump's smear campaign, Trump's pressure, because Trump's going to pressure him over all kinds of things. And just, yes, he is going to try to overwhelm the man and scatter his thinking. Chariot, right. Pull it forward real quick. So, right, he gets no honeymoon period. He doesn't get to edge into this. Already, Trump is talking to him. Already, it's, you going to help me overturn the election or not? Already, he's pulled forward. Page of Cups. He wants to be that person that's bringing a little bit of good news. I feel like that's emotionality, though. I feel like he's kind of emotional today. You know, he's sort of like pulled this way and that way. And his emotions can be manipulated a bit. So, in 3 weeks, he's going to go through 3 years. But, you know, he's took the job. So, he does want to improve his own career. Let's see. Yeah, he's constrained, though. He's constrained. There's not a darn thing he can do. He can't. But he is in bed with, there's a sense that he's in bed with Trump politically. So, like I said, he will humor him some. Okay. I don't think we have anything to fear from, anything serious to fear from Rosen. Of course, that's hard to say that because, you know, sometimes the decisions that are made, they've been really serious to certain people. Pardons. Right. Flurry of pardons coming more than likely. Right? 3 of Cups, celebration. For his buddies. Victory. Yeah. Yep. His apprentices, you know, people who he feels, you know, kissed up to him. Page of Wands. It's just a beginning notion. He's not very organized, Trump isn't. So he is indeed going to put it on. He's going to try to get Rosen to do some of these pardons. Will there be a lot? I feel like 5 of Cups, not as many as we think. I've seen that one before. Not as many as one would think. Like there will be some people regretting that they counted on that from him. Because it's not a priority. Unless he wants to buy them, you know, unless he wants something from them. 10 of Cups. Yeah, I don't know. I still think that there will be some pardons he just doesn't try because some senators tell him, hey, that might implicate you in the future, witness tampering, things like that. You know, I still think there are some that he will not try. So, interesting. All right. Well, I kind of want to know, and then I want to end with looking at Biden's presidency, but we'll end on a happier note. I want to know, what about this Trumpism? So people are saying Trump's going to run in 2024. I personally don't believe he will. He'll talk about it plenty. He talks about everything plenty, but I just don't think he's going to make it that far. The tower, no, because I think there will be problems with tax investigations. I think there will be problems with illegal behavior he does after he leaves office. I think they may not make much of a priority. There will be investigations about stuff he did in office, but I think as far as legal or criminal issues go, I think they're going to be looking at stuff he does after he leaves office, because he'll continue to engage in crime. He will continue to do that. So I think that weakens him. Ace of Coins. He may announce a campaign. Of course he will. To get the money. Of course he will. So he's going to talk about it. He's going to want the money, the donations. Queen of Coins. There's a big donor, female donor, that could be Mercer, that we have seen. He definitely wants to string her along, get money out of her. But Five of Cups, there's a regret. He doesn't make it. He doesn't make it as the nominee. Four of Cups, he's not accepting that. He's talking about fraud and being undermined and all that the whole way. Emperor, but the law is the law. He's in trouble with the law. I mean, I've always seen lots of civil suits. He's always forever getting lots of civil suits, but even more so after he leaves office, my gosh. Yeah, and scary ones too. Right? And I do see there will be some criminal investigation regarding tax fraud, tax evasion, things like that. So that's what I've seen anyway. His health also, it doesn't last really till 2024. Yeah, he's not accepting that either. But that's the laws of nature. You can't abuse your body. He's abused his body, There are many reports he's done cocaine, occasionally recreationally, and Adderall, snorted Adderall and things, and other kinds of stimulants more regularly. So there are many health troubles that did not show up on doctors' reports because they are constrained. If he says you cannot share this, you can share this, but you can't share that, it's his right to do it. It's his right to do that. Tower. Everything's going to change. It still is the tower. Right. The old leader's fallen out the window. The king is fallen. There's the king and queen falling. So everything is now changed. Let's look at Biden. Let's look at, oh wait, no, I wanted to look at, does Trumpism continue? Does Trump continue? We looked at that. Yeah, in a way. But what about Trumpism? What about, and then Biden? Okay, so we're still going to have, this is Mother Russia, we're still going to have people spreading disinformation. And maybe some of it originates on Russian troll farms. But, there's so many Americans now spreading it, So we'll still have that. And there's Biden. I think he gains some support, though. I really do. I think he's reelected, too. 8 of Swords. There's some... I feel like a lot of people involved with Trumpism, a lot of his most ardent supporters in the government will get in legal trouble, like they have. I think, it's easier for them to fall than it is for Trump to fall. So I just think that's going to damage some reputations there. But, and then there's Kamala, right? Retreat there. Pregnant with the possibility. Interesting. Clarity, good judgment, the Hierophant. Okay. Well, I think what we've got here is, yeah, I mean, sure, there will be some Trumpism. Because there still is such trouble with income inequality, and we still have a lot of people in the U.S. liking that populist message, especially when it favors them and not other groups of people. So we still will have some problems with that kind of rhetoric. But what about, but I just don't think, but we're not going to have Trump in 2024. What about one of his offspring, or Kushner? Six of Cups. Okay, so there will be those who, the Trump supporters will support them. Okay. Ace of Coins. They're going to, they really may campaign, because boy, it brings in the money in campaign donations. And that whole area of campaign donations is so loosely regulated. You can spend it on about anything. So yes, they're going to want to announce campaigns. Four of Coins. They hang in there. They want to hang on to their money. Success, though, High Priestess, but there's many deep mysteries. They have the shady, they have lots of secrets there. They're in bed with some, many moneyed interests. And Chariot. I feel like there are two members of the Trump family who may campaign. And they're hopeful. Income inequality. See, that's still the issue. The people who have loved Trump have wanted a champion. And even though Trump didn't get anything done for them, they like the way he talks. So there's that too again. So there may be, they may announce candidacies, but sitting pretty. Oh, Six of Swords. Okay. So slowly, though, we're learning a lot more about them, and it's not good for them. There's a little bit of good news. So I feel like at least one from the family has some success in campaigning. There's that two scales with the Justice card, opportunity, but yet they're constrained. I just don't feel like they win. Certainly not the presidency, certainly not that, but I just don't feel like they win. Or the candidacy. Okay. But, they might make a lot of money that way. They need it. They'll need it. All right. And Trumpism in general, those kinds of beliefs, that kind of rhetoric, I think it will continue in pockets. I think there may be some candidates for Senate and House and local, especially local House and Senate races that choose that route. And for some, it will work. But I think largely this will fade because so much is going to be coming out in investigations. I worry Biden and Harris won't actively enough deprogram. I mean, really, they have a huge deprogramming effort on their hands. And I'm worried they don't understand that at this point. It's not enough to just leave it. So will they? Will they help really expose the corruption in the Trump administration and associated politicians? There's Kamala. If anybody, it's going to be Kamala. And I just have seen her. I think there's no accident that she is vice president and an excellent prosecutor. She's going to. I feel like maybe not in the first year, but I do feel like we're going to hear about it. Her investigating all of these people and making sure, well, she's going to be working with the departments who do the investigating, but she's going to be the driving force a lot of times, I think. We have the 10 of Coins. There's no reason she can't be on a task force to correct corruption. Yeah, absolutely. 10 of Coins, though. So, yeah, I mean, but still, the state of our politics is that big business, moneyed interests have a little too much, they have too much say-so. So that kind of constrains her a bit. Interesting. that's kind of protected a lot of Republicans because they are usually outdoing Democrats in voting for tax cuts for the wealthy, right? So they're favored by the wealthy, usually. Also, they want to cut regulation all the time and all of that. Let the big business get away with all kinds of stuff. So that still is a problem. It still is a problem getting in the way of a really thorough excavation. I think there are some measures that will be taken to correct corruption, but, not that thorough excavation we'd like to see yet. Okay, and oddly, I'm hearing Biden will be, sure, Kamala Harris will do investigations and make sure they get done and all of that and favor legislation that gets everybody a little more on the straight and narrow within limits. But Biden, I feel like, will be quite courageous at some point in his tenure. I've seen him learning a lot more, like going into the office thinking he knows quite a lot. And then we have this tower on the bottom again too, which is a good thing. That means things are going to change. But I see him going in thinking he knows, and then like even in a year or two talking about, I thought I knew, but there was so much more I learned. I think he will be moved by compassion for the plight of the very poor, the working poor, people who are dying because of social injustice and income inequality and inequality of political power. I think he will be moved. The first year, I believe, we're still bedeviled too much by money, okay? But there is a lot that's done the first year. And the Six of Cups, people have said Biden 3.0, kind of. Yeah, that first year, yeah. There will be a focus on reestablishing, undoing the damage that Trump has done, and reestablishing the structures and the professionals, and reestablishing the committees and the departments. There will be a focus on that in the first year. Stability. But second year, Ace of Coins, Three of Rods. There's more of a look at, okay, what is the larger plan? A long-term view. He's assuming he will be reelected, and I believe he will. Even if he's stepped down by then and given it to Kamala, I believe Kamala would be elected. I don't know that he'll step down by then, but I do think at some point he will step down. I do think there will be a re-election. Year 2, Tower. That's when we start to see a whole bunch of change, even in year 2. We're not done. We're not done with Tower moments. It's okay, though. I think it's okay. It's the change that we've wanted. There will be issues he has to address, and I think, are they going to be economic? Yeah. I mean, for the people who are working, right. There will be issues that he needs to address. For the working people who are so strong, but they're still overburdened. And those who want to work, but they've been, pushed aside because companies have so little, they have so little accountability. They can fire people over the age of 50 because that 50-year-old all of a sudden costs them more in insurance premiums. And they can do that, and they do that. So, we still have people out of the workforce as well who want to be working, but they've been pushed out. Justice. Pregnant with a new possibility. opportunity given. So in year 2, that's when we see Biden and Harris really coming to grips, really starting to learn a lot more about what it's like to live on the ground. Because, people will contact Joe Biden. Voters will. Constituents will. And he will hear their stories. I just feel like he will be courageous, and actually that's where the real change is going to come in, and it will be more in year 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. And yeah, I just think so. Should we be hopeful, Spirit, for the working people? Pregnant with this new possibility, right? Long-term view. In other words, the beginnings. Yeah, right. And educating the American citizens too about these programs and these reforms and what they're intended to do and the timeline. Good. We're going to have some intelligent conversations coming out of the White House, and that will be refreshing. I think it's going to go quite well. We have the High Priestess flipping out and the Temperance Angel. And okay, so in other words, intuition is probably right about this, and it will be gradual. I've seen that all along. Of course, it's going to be gradual, but that's an all right thing. Okay, so I wanted to look too at, what did I want to look at? I'm going to look at Kamala. I haven't really pulled cards for her. How's she doing? How's she going to be doing? Okay, she's working closely with Joe. There's the King of Wands. I just feel like she's coming into this at a good place in her career where she understands the justice system so well from working within it that I think she regrets having, been such a good prosecutor and focusing so much on being a good prosecutor and supervising those kinds of efforts, that she regrets not seeing as clearly as she could have the social justice issues at the time. How people of color are treated so much worse in general. That's a blanket statement, but in general, they tend to be in our justice system. They just do. They deal with a lot of injustice. But also, there are people who don't have money and who are working really hard. They're dealt with very unfairly as well, because we need so much reform. There are people who are on probation for a crime. They did their time. They're done with that. They're on probation now. It could have been a nonviolent crime. It could have been something that, even was drug addiction related. It could be that. And they have so many requirements. They have to do this. Like they're suddenly going to become somebody who has all kinds of time and organization and no chaos at all in their lives. Yeah, that's not going to happen. They're working. They can't. A lot of people's probation requirements are just a recipe for failure. So there needs to be reform there too. People can't tell their boss, I've got to take this day off. I've got to take that day off. I've got to go to this appointment. I've got to go to that court date. I've got to go to I've got to go to this class. I got to go to, they're not rich people. So we need a lot of reform. And I do think Kamala Harris is understanding that more and regretting not seeing all of that more clearly. I think she is going to make a lot of reforms there. And you know what? Those are reforms that shouldn't have much, shouldn't have much political consequence. Of course, the Republicans will try to make her seem really soft on crime. Good luck trying to make Kamala Harris look soft. but they'll try to make her look soft on crime. And if anybody was released earlier than they would have because of a reform, they're going to say, oh, this is the person who was released and murdered somebody, you know, and blow that case up. But I just don't think it's going to really hurt her. Yeah. Yeah, I think there will be reforms. And again, not in the first year. The first year is going to be about stabilizing. But I don't know, though. I think she's going to start. She will be chomping at the bit to do a lot of these things. It is her deal. It is her thing. She wants to fix in unjust and illegal behavior. So that is her thing. It's just her target's going to be different, right? Corrupt politicians are going to be her target quite a bit. More so than they have been in the past. Yeah, she has a deep understanding of things. Two of Swords. But there's some indecision because of, money, security. She's new on the job. Right. And how much corruption, how much does she, there we go. She'll work closely with the Justice Department. Yeah. Pregnant with the possibility. The Wheel of Fortune. They all lined up on the bottom of the deck, you guys. Okay, so fate is calling. Fate is calling her phone right now. Okay. Saying it's a new era. Be brave. Be courageous. Okay. Well, we hope that for her. And although I do know that the change is gradual. Yes. But new day. Tower brings in a new beginning. Tower bringing in the Empress all over the place in these cards today. So I thank you all so very much. I thank you for being involved and good citizens. And I thank you all, those who listen from other countries. Thank you all for taking an interest and in carrying the torch of democracy. So blessings. Bye-bye.